Okay, name is John Hunter, and I'm actually going to try to go over creating these logo mockups that I see everybody using, but everybody seems to be using the same ones that you can download online. So I want to go over and show you guys how you can build these yourself pretty quick, painlessly. It doesn't take, I mean, if you have any Photoshop skill, it's pretty easy to do. So let's get into it. First thing we're going to do is worry about this background right here and how we created it. So we're going to go to File, New. I always do everything in 4K, regular 72 pixels per inch. So here's what we have. First thing we want to do is I unselect, or I unlock the base layer. I create a new layer, and then I'll hide it. First thing I want to do, and I've gone ahead and downloaded some textures like this concrete wall texture right here. So we're going to click this and drag this into Photoshop. Just drop it in there, see what we have. First things first, we want to take it, hold down Shift Alt, and we want to scale it out until we get the edges pretty much where they should be. Hit the OK mark. Then we want to kind of zoom out, and what we want to do is we want to take this and we want to go ahead and transform it, not free transform it, and we're going to go for a perspective shot. So we're going to shrink it down right here. We're going to raise it up on this side so we actually have a wall effect, and then we're going to go back, transform. We're just going to go where we want to distort it, and we're going to pull this out a little bit so it stretches it out. Then we'll go back, add that perspective warp once again, just about like that, and maybe even bring this up a little bit more, just because when you look at it, and here I'll zoom in so you guys can see. Obviously there is some depth to the wall. It looks like it's going down at an angle. What I like to do is at this point I will go ahead and rasterize my wall just so I can select. I'll hit Control S. No, not Control S, sorry. Control A, and what it does is you can see that it will select only what's in the frame. I hit Control C to copy it, Control V to paste it. That way I'm not working with anything like this where it's actually bigger than my canvas. So I will go ahead and delete the original. Okay, and now you can see that this right here, when I hit Control T, it's literally just what we copied and pasted within the viewing area. With that being said, I guess the next thing we want to do is go ahead and create a logo and see how to put our logos on there. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to bring in what I've got, a logo that I did. So we're going to bring that into Photoshop, and we're just going to drop it in the center. Okay, we're going to drop it right here. Hang on just a second. Obviously made a mistake. Image mode, RGB. Very important. Don't merge, don't rasterize. So there's our logo right there. We're going to take it and we're going to scale it down just a little bit. Okay. And at this point, we're actually going to, even though it already is a smart object, we're going to go ahead and make sure that we convert it to a smart object. No real big deal. What we're going to do now is we're going to do the same thing to it that we did to the background. Is we're actually going to go ahead, give it some perspective. Okay, we don't want to extend it or stretch it or anything else. We just kind of want to bring it where it looks semi-normal. Bring it in just a little bit. Keep the same aspect ratio and try to keep it along that midline. Right there you can see where the pink lines match. See what I'm saying? We want to keep it right there. So right there we've already got our smart object. Now what we can do, obviously if you want to change the logo out, double click right here on the smart object. You can go in there, you can drop it. Let's just change something out. I've got custom aerial solutions. Let me just drop it in here. Drop it in right there. So here it is, just custom aerial solutions, just a little bit of a vector logo that I dropped in there. I'm hiding the other, does not matter. First thing I want to do is I see that I actually have some coloring in it. So don't want to do that. Double click right here, go down to color overlay. Okay, we'll make it heck, let's go with a slate blue. So we'll make it all a solid, and I'm big on slate. I like slate. So we'll make that right there. Obviously, you hit Control S to save, or you can just file and hit save. I don't know what that was. That was where we're actually building it. So here it is. That's what we're looking at. And it's all well and good, but it's just not what we were looking for. Let me hit that again. Go back. There it is, NDS. I guess we'll keep that right now. The other logo just did not work enough for it. We'll change it out later. So first thing we want to do is we actually want to copy this layer a couple of times. The first time, what we're going to do is we're going to bring it in. We're actually going to give it a bit of a drop shadow. Okay, we want to keep the distance low. Okay, and to be honest with you, I'm not even sure if we want a drop shadow on that right yet, but what we do want to do is we want to scoot it over just a little bit. Maybe not that much. And you might want to zoom in just to kind of see how far you're moving it over. And you can see by the edges right up here at the top. Okay, so you don't want to move it too much. Now we'll go ahead and add a drop shadow. Okay, and we want to keep, like I said, we want to keep that edge pretty sharp. So obviously we're going to set it down below our second logo. Come out, pull it, looking a little bit better. What we're going to do is we're going to copy that layer again. Okay, and with the third layer, actually the third layer, let's zoom in to it real quick. We're actually going to move it a little bit. So where we have a little bit deeper shadow, now you can keep or remove that shadow, it's up to you. And one thing I like to do is on this top logo, the top design, that's it. Here we'll erase the others, you can see it. I will actually go ahead and group these two, and I'll actually create a folder for those two. Now on this one right here, generally I like to go in and I'll add a bevel. One of the best bevel effects generally starts at 118 by 82. That gives you a good refined polished edge. We'll bring it up just a little bit size, so we've got a little bit of a reflection there. Okay, hang on just a second because I'm seeing the different drop shadows. So I'm going to actually kill that drop shadow so that we have one primary drop shadow. I just got to figure out which one it is that I want. I think it's this one right here. I want to move it in just a little bit. Let's see. There we go. So this one right here, we're going to go ahead and add the drop shadow to it. We're going to add it back, and we may even go in and drop that drop shadow down just a little bit more. Actually move it out a little bit. So you've got that 3D look and feel. Okay, essentially that is all you're really looking at. That's all it takes to build one of these things. Let me close that group. Now if I go back over here, I've got it open, so let me close it. So I'm going to double click right here. I am actually going to change this back out to the custom aerial solutions. Okay, we'll hit Control S to save, and we'll go back and take a look, and you can see also now how we've got the custom aerial solutions in there. It's highlighted. Now whether you want to keep that same bevel effect in there or not, that is entirely up to you. You can drop it, you can add it, you can edit it to suit your needs. The bevel, generally I'll bring the softness down, or I'll tighten up the back to give it that deeper shadow. And so if you want to take a look at it, maybe we want to go in to the custom aerial solutions and let's see, we'll change it over to a raster effect. And maybe I just want to copy this right here. So let me just go ahead and hit Control C, and then I'll actually cut it out. I'll take my custom text over here and I'll go ahead and scale it up, anything to fit, and then I'll go ahead and paste back in my aerial solutions, and of course it's going to have the same effect as the original, but I want to go ahead and drag it out to where it extends just to the edge of the drag on the custom. And of course we're going to copy the layer style on this. We're going to add it to this one right here. So you've got the same thing. We're going to hit Control S to save, and then we're going to go back and take a look. And so you can see what I'm saying here now. You can actually see a line in there. So let's zoom in just a little bit. Okay, and sometimes you can add and hide layers, or maybe even add new layers. So let's go into this and see what we got. Adding the drop shadow really doesn't do much to it, but I'm afraid we can drop that other one. Some logos do not work well. Hang on just a second. And I'm just trying to basically move these things around a little bit so they fit better. So I'm literally just using the arrow keys to size these things in correctly. And you can see how much better they fit on there. So that's it. That's how we do it. Whether you want to keep it like that, duplicating the layers, changing them, cutting them up, anything you want to do, just make sure. And that's literally what we did. Just make sure that you hit, save after every change. Say we want to get rid of these two, add this one back, Control S, and there it is. So that's how you do it. If anybody has any questions or anything, feel free to message me. But I just really kind of wanted to give everybody an idea of how to build these things themselves, because I see it far too often where they're using everybody else's mock-ups time and time and time again. Let's be original with it. All right, guys, I'm out of here.